And when I say balance, I want you to think beyond what it means to stand on one foot in your yoga practice or do a handstand or any of that stuff, but to think about balance as the notion of this and this, energy going out, energy coming in, work and play, breath in, breath out, exercise and rest. And I love what I understand so far about Chinese medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine always looks at health as the concept of being in the right kind of balance, you know, eating the right kinds of foods at the right time and that kind of thing. So as you do your practice, and I'll focus a little more on instruction around balance, how we can help ourselves, because from the standpoint of being older adults, we know that balance is critical in preventing falls, and that's something we all want to work on diminishing our risk of. So are we good? All right, let's begin. So we always begin our practice by centering, putting aside whatever happened earlier in the day or what you may need to tackle later on in the day so that we can come fully and completely into the moment and be present to every part of our practice. So finding a comfortable way to sit, allowing your feet to be grounded on the floor, rolling your shoulders up and back and down, and imagining your spine can grow a little taller in the seat. And either allowing your eyes to close or looking softly at the floor. This is the time when we check in, body, mind, heart, spirit, and energy. What is it that you bring to your practice this morning? Directing all of your attention to the sensation of breath coming in and going out. Actively drawing in a breath and then simply releasing and letting the exhale flow from your body. As you focus on your breath, also becoming aware of any strong sensations, physical sensations, might be areas of tension or tightness, or it might be places in your body that feel really good, really open, spacious. Becoming aware of your energy this morning, the busyness of your thoughts, any emotions that are present. Not holding on, not pushing away, simply letting it all be. And allowing your breath to deepen now so that we soften and expand the belly. Draw that breath up through the chest all the way to the shoulders. And exhaling, shoulders, chest, giving the belly a little squeeze back towards the spine at the end of the exhale. Actively breathing in and surrendering, letting the exhale go. Finding that beautiful balance between breath in and breath out. If your thoughts begin to wander away from the moment, gently come back to your breath. Over the next 3 breaths, see how present you can become to yourself, drawing together your body, your thoughts, your energy, your heart into this very moment. And when you complete that 3rd exhale, bringing your hands to prayer position in front of your hearts, letting your natural breath come back, and let's join our voices as a community of practice in the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Om. Shanti. Peace. So opening your eyes, if they're not already open, sweeping your arms up. And exhale, bringing them down. Chin lifts if you like as you breathe in. And drops to the chest as you breathe out. So as we're working through our practice today, you also want to let your attention notice finding that balance in each posture between the work of doing the pose and finding a sense of ease and comfort in the pose. And if that means you need to adjust what you're doing, by all means, feel free. Let's do one more in-breath and then allow the arms to stay lifted, relaxing the shoulders, lifting up through your fingertips, pressing your feet into the floor, seeing if you can draw the breath through your whole body, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Watching the sensations build in your shoulders and arms. Let's take one more deep breath in here. And then exhale, palms together, draw them together in front of your heart and take a breath. So we'll move through some repetitions of our half sun salute. And I'm just reminding you that in addition to being a series of movements, the sun salutation is a pranayama, or a breathing technique. So be aware of how each in-breath and each out-breath helps you with the movements. So here we go. Breathing in, let the arms sweep up. And on an exhale, reach back, create a little back bend there. Coming back to mountain, and then releasing the breath as you fold forward. Palms placed on the knees, come up halfway, breathe in. Exhaling and folding. Inhaling, arms sweep up. Imagine you're gathering in that breath, that energy. Exhale, let it go, reach back. Take the breath into mountain and draw the hands back to your heart. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhaling, reach back. Drawing the breath in mountain and folding forward, letting it go. Palms to knees. On an in-breath, we come up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Reach it back, let it go. Breathing back to mountain and exhaling right back to your heart. Last time, breath in and out, reach back. Breathe into mountain, let it go. Let go of as much breath as you can. Make room for the next one as you come up back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep those arms up, gather in the breath. Exhale, reach and back. Take your breath in, and then come to rest at your hearts. And you can even close your eyes here just to notice the effects of those early stretches. letting go of any judgment about your practice. You are unique, and so is your practice. So we'll move into the 6 movements of the spine, starting with the dog and the cat. Although in some traditions, they call it the cat and the cow. So whatever floats your boat. So we're going to move into dog first, allowing the chest to come forward, shoulders come back, head looks up. Deep breath in, and then exhale. Draw your shoulders forward, round your spine, let the breath go. Inhaling as you open. Exhaling as you curl up. Again, the more you let go with the exhale, the more room you'll have for that next breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do that once more. Inhaling, shoulders back, head looks up. Exhale, tucking the chin, rolling off the sit bones. And drawing yourself back to center. Take a breath, and we'll go into our twist. Starting with the right arm, take a minute to stretch it out long. Bring that palm to your left knee, left hand to the side of the chair. Sit up tall, breathe in, and then as you exhale, turning gently to the left. For a deeper stretch, the left leg crosses over the right. Be kind to your neck. Remember to line up the chin just with the center of your chest. Don't over twist. Notice where your thoughts go as you're holding the pose. Stay present. Good. And the next time you breathe in, let's begin to release, coming around to the front. And take a breath. Other side. Stretch that left arm out. A lot of energy, fingertips to shoulders. Palm comes to the knee, right hand to the side of your chair. Sit up tall as you breathe in. Gently rotate as you breathe out. Again, softness in the neck, not to over twist. And you can cross the right leg over the left if you wish. Breathing in once more. And let the exhale be the signal to release and come around to the front. And take a breath. Ready to thread the needle? We'll start with the right arm. Again, lots of energy, fingertips to shoulders. Slide it along your left thigh. And we're moving in slowly to find that balance between the work and the ease. If you like, add that left arm, sweeping it up, reaching to the sky, finding the breath. So the higher you lift that left arm, the deeper the rotation you will get in your spine. And let's inhale, come on up. Take a breath, and we'll go to the other side. Left arm stretches out. Nice and long. Ooh, reach right across the room. Slide it along your right thigh. Adding that right arm lift if that feels good. And remember, the pose might look very different from one side to the other. That's perfectly fine, perfectly natural. You can relax your neck a little bit by giving your head a little shake, side to side, front to back. Great, and release that now, breathing in, coming up. And just take a couple of breaths. So we're gonna come into our knee press now. So again, you always want to make sure that there's a little bit of space between your back and the back of your chair. And that's our reminder to make our muscles do the work of supporting us rather than the chair. So I'm going to begin to pick up my right knee, and I can hold on behind the thigh. I can hold on below the knee. I can always use my yoga tie behind the thigh if that feels good. Again, sitting up tall, allowing your shoulders to relax. Let's circle the ankle. Ooh, crunch, crunch, crunch. And go the other way. Stir it up. Good. So there's a little bit of a challenge here. I'm going to invite you to join me if you'd like to try. You can keep the knee bent and release your hands. So this is a seated version of a pose we do on the floor called the upward facing boat. So notice how hard that muscle in the front of your leg is working. Let the rest of your body find ease. Can we do one more breath here? Good. Breathe in. Let it go. And we'll move into the figure 4 stretch. So crossing ankles, knees, or allowing the ankle of that right foot to rest on your left thigh. Gently pressing down on the knee and pulling up on the foot. Sitting up tall. And for a little bit deeper stretch, you lean into it. Nice, steady breaths. Lots of sensation. Send your breath right to the place where the sensation is the strongest. One more breath. And exhale. I love that stretch. If you've been sitting a lot, which a lot of us, including myself, have been doing, that's a good one to do periodically during the day. It helps to work on the piriformis muscle and the lower back. So just know that that's a good thing to do. So let's go to the other side. Pick that left knee up. Notice if you started to lean back in your chair. So draw your chest forward so you're sitting up tall. Great. Again, holding on wherever it's comfortable for you to do so, or using your tie, circling the ankle. Sitting up as tall as you can, finding each breath, staying with the breath. See if you can lift that knee up a little bit higher. And then if you'd like to challenge, just release your arms. So there's actually a little bit of balance work involved in doing this. So just notice if you can continue to sit up straight with the knee lifted. The other foot is flat on the floor. One more breath. Exhale, and let's come into the figure 4 stretch. Whatever version is most accessible to you this morning. Pressing down on the knee, pulling up on the foot. Relaxing your shoulders down. And for more intensity, leaning forward. Again, the head shakes. Left and right, front to back. Sending your awareness to the back body, imagining that your shoulder blades are widening across your back. Once more, nice deep breath in. And then as mindfully as you went into the stretch, letting yourself release, uncrossing whatever is crossed, and taking a couple of breaths. So we're going to come up to standing, and I have to apologize. I like doing my recordings and my videos in this room, but the one thing I don't like about this room is the carpeting, because it's kind of plushy. And it is much more of a challenge for me to balance on fluffy carpeting than it is on a solid floor. So just know that you're better off in your practice on something that's more of a firm footing. So we're going to come up through chair pose. Let's move the feet back. The heels will lift slightly, and remember, as soon as you start to stand, let your heels come down. Hands to the hips to begin. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, press down into your feet. Stand up part way. So there's a nice bend in the knees. You can stay right here, or if you'd like, you can make it a little more intense by extending your arms forward or overhead. Knees are still bent, feet are hip width apart, shoulders are back. And we breathe. Find that breath. Know that you can come out of the pose anytime you need to. Once more, deep breath in, exhale, lower the arms, straighten your legs, close your eyes, notice the sensation. So I'm going to stand on the back of my chair, not on the back of my chair, but behind my chair. That would be really challenging to stand on the back of my chair. I'm going to turn my chair sideways so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to do a little warm up for balance, and there's some things that really make it a lot easier to balance, and we're going to be talking about those. Some have to do with where you're looking, some have to do with your breath, some have to do with the supporting leg. So let's warm up just a little bit. Let's lift up on the toes and exhale, come down. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring it down. So trying to keep the upper body straight as you lift, and exhale, lower down. So I'm going to lift my heels and I'm going to hold here. You can release one hand, you can release both hands. You can continue to hold on, whatever feels good. Good. And then drop the heels down. So let's just rock from side to side on the feet. So your knees are a little soft, your hips are nice and relaxed, and you're just rolling from the inside edge to the outside edge. Really feel your feet. It's helpful if you're barefoot doing this because you can really feel the surface of your feet. And now let's circle on the feet. So again, we're going from the heels to the outside edges, to the inside edges, just nice, easy circles. And let's go in the other direction. So take a minute to look down at your feet. Pick up your toes and spread them as wide apart as you can. And then place it down. Do the same thing with your other foot. Pick up the toes, fan them out, place them down. Try and keep that space between the toes. Let's do that again. So picking up the toes of your right foot, spread the toes out, place them down. Keep a lot of real estate under the feet. So let's pick up the left toes, spread out the toes, and then place them down, keeping that space. So as you're doing balance work, a couple of things are good to keep in mind. Number one is the direction of your gaze. So for the most stability, it's better to look directly ahead or slightly down at the floor. Okay, those are good places to direct your gaze. The other is your breath. Don't hold your breath. What I would like you to focus on is pushing the exhale down into the foot that's supporting you. So let's just try that. Pick up your right foot, take a breath in, exhale, place the foot down on the floor, spread the toes, soften the knee, and exhale down into the sole of that foot. See if you can pick up the left foot a little bit. Just notice what that feels like. Good. Let's try it on the other side. So, picking up the toes, spreading the toes, finding your gaze, finding your breath. Inhale, exhale, send the exhale down into the sole of that supporting leg. Lift the right foot. Keep your gaze steady and your breath steady. Good. And relax. So those are all good things to keep in mind as we're working through the next series of postures. And let's stretch out the tops of the feet. We don't think about that very much. So I'm just going to turn my foot over so the top of my foot is on the floor. This might be a little uncomfortable, so be kind to yourself. Good, and let that go. Turn the other foot over, press down into the tops of the feet. Good, and let that go. Good. So let's shift weight to the left leg. Find your gaze, find your breath, and begin to lift up the right knee. We're going to come into standing wind reliever, tree, and then some other poses. So you can pick that knee up as high as you like. You can hold on below the knee, behind the thigh. You can release your hands from the chair. Exhale down into the floor. Keep your gaze steady. And we'll move into tree pose so that right knee drifts off to the side. Find a position that works for the foot. The foot can be on the floor. You can bring it up alongside the calf, whatever works for you. Build your branches. You can always keep one hand on the chair. And breathe. Again, notice if you're curling your toes, try to flatten the toes out. Send the exhale down into the floor and soften the supporting leg. Lots to think about here. Great, and let's lower the hands and step back into warrior pose. So I'm going to step back with the right foot, square my hips so they're both facing the chair, and bend that forward knee. Imagine that there's a magnet drawing the center of your body down into the earth. Square the hips. You can add the arms, if you like, one arm or two. To make it more challenging, direct your gaze upward. Find your breath. Good, so let's lower the arms now. Keep the feet right where they are. We're going to come into a little twist. So bringing your right hand to your right hip. Extend your left arm up to the ceiling. And let's rotate, quarter of a turn. Keep reaching up, breathing. Great, breathe in, bring it back to center. Lower the hands. So we're going to leave our feet right where they are and come into warrior two. So again, a little bit of bend in that forward knee. Right arm extends behind you. Left arm reaches forward. Gaze is over the left hand. And we breathe. Finding that balance between work and ease. Are you using muscles you do not need to use that you can relax? Good, and release that down. So we're gonna come into a variation of arm position with Warrior Two, which is kind of fun. So I'm gonna take my right hand and bring it behind me, palm facing forward. I'm gonna turn around so you can see what I'm doing with my hand. If that works for you and you feel stable, you can release your left arm, reach it up, bend at the elbow, and see if you can shake hands with yourself or just keep the elbow bent. Gaze upward. So it's a pretty intense back bend here, a little bit more of a challenge for balance. Great, and let that go. Ooh, step your feet together. Take a breath. Pretty intense, huh? That's fun. All right, so let's go to the other side. So remembering that too with balance, there's always one side that seems to be a little more forgiving, a little easier than the other side. So just know that that's the case with most people. So it's probably for you as well. So I'm going to shift my weight now to my right foot, fanning out those toes, taking up a lot of real estate on the floor with my foot. Good. Soften that knee, find your gaze, find your breath. Good. And let's begin to release the left foot. So there's no rush to pick the knee up. You can pick it up a little bit or a lot. It's totally your choice. Notice if you start to curl your toes, flatten them out. You can release the chair if you like or not. Relax your shoulders, relax your breath. And we'll move into tree pose. So the knee comes out to the side, foot rests on the floor or alongside the calf. One arm or two for the branches. So if your shoulders are really tight, it might be more comfortable for you to separate your hands and form kind of a V shape. So whatever works. Let that supporting leg be soft. Let your breath be steady. Wonderful. And we'll come into warrior from here. So I'm going to step back with my left foot. Create a little bend in my forward knee, which is my right knee. Really sink the feet down. Sink them a little deeper with each exhale. Square your hips. Add your arms if you like. And breathe. And again, the challenge is to look upward. But if you don't feel stable, gaze at the horizon or at the floor. Wonderful. So we'll move into the twist and take my left hand to my left hip. Reach my right arm up and rotate a quarter of a turn to the left. Reaching up as high as you can. Breathing. Good, and rotate it back to center. And we'll come into warrior two. So the left arm sweeps behind you. The right arm sweeps forward. Shoulders broaden across the back, flatten the toes, soften the knees, steady the breath. And let's add that arm variation. So bringing your left hand behind you, you can bring it to your waist, or you can bring it up. Right arm lifts up and over. Interlacing your fingers if you can. Finding your breath. Wonderful. Release the arms. Step your feet together. And let's come into a downward facing dog. Oh, nice stretch here. Let's pedal the feet. So picking up one heel, pressing it down, other one presses down. And let's walk back towards the chair. So let's come to the left side of the chair, and we'll work on that other version of the tree pose with the foot on the chair and also the triangle pose. So beginning with the tree pose, I'm going to take my leg closest to the chair and place it up on the seat. So notice how the supporting leg is straight up and down. I'm not leaning either out or in. Foot is turned out. Extend your outside arm up. You can keep your other hand on the chair, or you can create your branches. Again, if your shoulders are tight, you might want to just make a V shape with your arms. That works really well. Soften that supporting leg, fan out the toes, exhale down into the floor. Just remind yourself to do that. It'll help with balance. Awesome. Release your foot down. And let's come into Trikonasana, which is triangle. So a nice comfortable distance for the feet. Toes nice and wide. Let's turn the toes of the right foot towards the chair. And reach up with your left arm. And begin to arch to the side. So again, the gaze is really important here for balance. You can look up. You can look straight ahead. You can look down. Looking down is way more stable than looking up. You can release your hand from the chair. So you're creating some balance. Finding your breath. Softening where you can. So putting lots of energy in that top arm. Let's bring it up. All the way over. Nice little counter stretch. And back to center. And we'll go to the other side and do both of those poses on the other side. Everybody feeling better balanced? All right, so we're going to start with a tree pose. Picking the foot up, placing it on the chair. Turning the foot out as much as you can. You want to get that feeling of spaciousness across the front of the hips. And building your branches. One arm or two, flattening out that supporting foot, softening the knee. Again, adjusting your arm position, whatever works for your shoulders. Nice deep breath. So you're pressing up through your fingers, pressing down into your foot at the same time. Exhale into the floor. Really let those roots plant. Great. Lowering the arms. We'll lower the feet and get ready for triangle on this side. Foot closest to the chair, toes face the chair. Both knees are soft. Reach up and over. Remember, we're not bending forward, not bending back, just directly to the side. You don't need this hand for balance. Bring it to the inside. Adjust your gaze. Flatten the toes. Breathing. Breathing into the whole body. Good, lots of energy there. Stretch. Back to center, step your feet together, and let's take a seat. Good job, everybody. So I hope those little tips help with balance. And it's something you can work on during the day very, very easily. Like if you're in the kitchen, standing at the kitchen counter, just practice picking up one foot. You could be holding onto the counter. It's just the right height for that. So allowing your eyes to close or looking softly at the floor. Breathing. Just enjoying the breath. Just releasing any judgments you have about your practice, knowing that it was the perfect practice for you. No particular way you need to breathe right now, just letting the breath find its own rhythm, its own depth, finding that balance in your body between the muscles that need to be working and those that can be at rest. You're beginning to let your breath get a little bit deeper and adding some stretches. Oh, let yourself grunt, groan, sigh. Whatever it is that feels best to you, just stretch from side to side. Bringing your hands to prayer position. Let's close our practice with an Om. Deep breath in. Om. Om Shanti. Peace. May we all know peace. So namaste. Jai Bhagwan. Have a lovely week. And I'll come up and have a little chat.